You'll never measure up to your brother, Mom spat, and the gravy boat trembled on the table like it felt the earthquake coming. I locked eyes with her and smiled, cold, razor sharp. Fine. Let him cover the utilities then. Dad's napkin slipped from his fingers. Utilities, he rasped. That single word detonated 4 years of buried rage, but the bomb had been ticking since one frantic midnight voicemail I still can't delete. Before I peel back the layers, smash that like button and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Ever had to slice family ties just to breathe? I'm Sophia Grant, 30, and from the outside my world is airtight. Lead auditor at a freight hub on the Everett docks, minimalist loft, spreadsheets that never lie. If only bloodlines balanced the same way. Every Sunday, I pilot my sedan 50 minutes south to the sprawling ranch style in Lacey. It's not dinner, it's a covenant. Skip once and Mom's calls turn into a siege. Dad's texts arrive like velvet threats. Your plate's warm. Don't let it cool. So I arrive, inhale rosemary lamb, Dad's cedar soap, Noah's designer scent that brands the air. The foyer wall is a museum. Noah sealing 8-figure mergers, Noah keynote speaking at Davos, Noah flanked by our parents like a crown prince. My accounting license is tacked above the fuse box. Conversation orbits Noah like gravity. Noah just landed a Fortune 500 client. Noah renovated his penthouse. Noah's on track for CFO by 35. Dad's grin stretches ear to ear. Mom clutches Noah's forearm as if it's solid gold. When the spotlight swivels to me, it's a dim flicker of comparison. You've always been the steady one, sophomore. Never had Noah's fire. I swallow, swirl my Merlot, and let the barbs bounce. They don't. They burrow. Because every time they toast Noah's triumphs, I replay the 2 a.m. wire transfers that kept their lights on, their water running, their Wi-Fi humming. They never noticed. They never asked. They labeled me low maintenance. Never noticed. They never asked. They labeled me low maintenance and kept feasting. Even glaciers crack eventually. Mine fractured 4 winters ago on a night the Puget Sound wind knifed through my parka. I'd just survived a 14-hour audit when Mom's name flashed at 11:47 p.m. She never rang past 9. Sophia, your father's biggest client defaulted. One missed payment and the bank starts foreclosure. Can you bridge us just this once? My emergency fund was earmarked for a condo down payment in Belltown. Family first, I thought. By sunrise, I'd moved the money. Mom wept gratitude, swore repayment, once the pipeline refills. I believed her. 1 became 4, then 12. Texts evolved into a script. Sweetheart, just this cycle. We're turning the corner. I automated the hemorrhage so I wouldn't have to feel each cut. Easier to vanish in installments than to utter no. I didn't just wire dollars. I mailed chunks of my life. Weekend getaways with friends? Swamped. Rent hike? Renewed anyway. I told myself it was finite. Families float each other, right? But between the outflows and the endless Noah parade, I realized I wasn't the lifeboat. I was the iceberg they never saw coming. The night I tallied the damage, $98,000, my cursor blinked like a heartbeat. That was my equity, my skyline view, my freedom, vaporized. The real wound wasn't the balance, it was the vacuum. 0 thank yous. 0 toasts. While Dad raised glasses to Noah's bonuses, I'd been the silent engine keeping the foundation from crumbling. The following month Mom's text landed, "One more, darling?" I stared, thumb hovering, then opened the banking app, located the recurring transfer, and killed it. Confirm cancellation? Yes. The chain snapped with a soft click. That click was the first spark of retribution, quiet, surgical, undeniable. I sat at my kitchen island until dawn, palms vibrating. For 4 years my identity had been those digits. Strip them away, and what remained? The longer I sat, the lighter the air tasted. I wasn't the ghost in the machine anymore. I was broke, exhausted, and miraculously mine. At first light, I laced up and ran the Burke-Gilman Trail. Frost bit my cheeks, gulls screamed overhead. Each footfall scraped off another layer of obligation. I started reconstructing for me, not them. Tuesday nights I enrolled in a pottery studio in Fremont, clay under my nails, no one aware of Noah, no one measuring. My wheel wobbled, my bowls collapsed, but the laughter was real. At the office, I hunted inefficiencies like treasure. My director caught me at 7 p.m. dissecting freight manifests. "You spot patterns others miss," she said. The praise landed warmer than any parental pat on the head earned, not inherited. 3 months later, a blockchain logistics unicorn in San Francisco slid into my inbox. Head of Risk Analytics, 55% bump, equity package. I accepted before the espresso cooled. I boxed Portland, no, Everett, into a single SUV and drove south on I-5 until the Space Needle vanished in the rearview. My new flat overlooked the bay, all glass and salt breeze. Distance tasted like oxygen. Yet some evenings I still spread the manila folder across the floor, wire confirmations, desperate texts, a ledger of love that never reciprocated. I kept it because erasure is a family specialty, and I refused to be the footnote twice. 8 months of radio silence shattered when Mrs. Lang, the neighbor who watered my parents' roses, texted a photo. A vinyl banner draped their garage, "All hail Noah Grant, guardian of the family estate." My pulse flatlined. The house I'd mortgaged my future for was now Noah's legend. I stared until the pixels blurred. They hadn't just forgotten. They'd rewritten history in bold vinyl. Rage calcified into strategy. I dragged the folder from its drawer and built a deck titled Receipts. Timelines, graphs. Redlined, please. I saved it to 3 drives and the cloud evidence doesn't evaporate. The reckoning arrived via my cousin Mia. Big family legacy banquet next Saturday in the city. They want to crown Noah for saving the homestead. They asked me to design the tribute reel. Want a preview? The file hit my inbox. Noah on the lawn, captions gushing gratitude. Final frame, to Noah Grant, the son who secured our forever home. File rose. I opened my deck, grafted the truth onto their fairy tale, capped it with a single photo of the house at dusk and the line, "Paid in full by the daughter you never thanked." I mirrored the file to Mia's cloud folder at 2 a.m. Silent sabotage. Saturday night, I slipped into the banquet hall unannounced. Crystal clinked, laughter swelled. Dad commanded the mic, voice thick with pride. Mom shimmered in champagne silk. Noah, immaculate in midnight blue, accepted applause like oxygen. I lingered near the AV booth. The reel began. Childhood snapshots, Noah's graduations, Noah's promotions. Then the finale flickered, except the script had flipped. Financial Lifeline 2019 to 2023. Gasps rippled. I stepped into the light, heels echoing. Dad's smile calcified. Mom's champagne sloshed. Slide after slide, $98,000 in 48 transfers. Mom's texts in her own handwriting. The room hushed to a graveyard. I spoke without raising my voice. If facts ruin the party, blame the architects. A lone clap started in the corner, then 10, 20. Noah's jaw trembled. Dad croaked, "We never forced, you never had to." I cut in. "You just cashed the silence." I ejected the drive, slid it into my clutch, and walked out. The night air slapped clean. Behind me, their empire of half-truths imploded in murmurs. 2 mornings later, a hesitant knock. Through the peephole, Mom's eyes puffy, Dad's shoulders folded inward. I opened the door but blocked the threshold. Silence stretched like taffy. Mom finally whispered, "We were blind. We want to add you to the title." "It's the least." I shook my head. "I already own a home." "It's this one." Dad's throat worked soundlessly. "We just want to make it right." "Start with respect," I said. "The deed's optional." They nodded, real nods, stripped of defense. When the elevator swallowed them, I watched ferries stitch white threads across the bay. Equations finally balanced. That night, I toasted the skyline with a single glass. The folder still sat on my shelf, but its power had evaporated. Truth had spoken. I no longer needed the megaphone. If you've ever been the unseen pillar, know this. Quiet isn't fragile, and leaving isn't defeat. Sometimes it's the only way to stand tall. Drop your city in the comments, hit subscribe, your story matters too. You're never alone.